more interesting scenario, both the men and the women seeing teams like a month apart here. For you, any quirks about that, seeing Ohio State so closely again? Can you use it? I feel like oftentimes you could use these series as a measuring stick. Like, okay, we played Ohio State at this time, and then maybe 2-3 months later, you're seeing them again, and you get to gauge how your team has grown. A little different seeing the Buckeyes just, I think, 6 weeks since you last saw them, right?
Yeah, I still think we've grown so much in those 6 weeks. So whether it's second semester, which you kind of like, or both in the same semester, you make do. And I think we're a much better team than we were when we were down there. And, it allows us to take a look at the tape and know that they're fairly similar to how they were. Obviously, everybody gets better every week, but there are some positives out of it too.
Since the last time you saw Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the opponents. Seems like games between you and the Buckeyes are pretty tight in general. Like, are one of those areas, do you feel the team's a lot more confident offensively than where it was?
Oh yeah. I think confidence in every area, really. I forget the exact date of when we were down there, but it felt like it was pretty early in the season. And that's fun too, to figure out where you're at that point. But I think all areas right now we're feeling very confident in, and certainly goal scoring, but not even just that specifically. I think offensively, what we're doing is dynamic, it's fun, it incorporates all 5 players, and whether that's the opponents or just us building over time, I think it's been really strong, and we want to carry that into this weekend.
What is it that you like about the last time you saw the Buckeyes that you see continue and it's going to need to happen again this weekend?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty good hockey when we were down there, and that's a tough road trip for us, our only in-conference flight, and they're good at home. So I thought we played well. Friday night we came back from a deficit and pushed it to OT, which I think is a credit to our players and our ability to stay with the plan regardless of what the scoreboard says and push. And then on Saturday we really were the better team. And that one stung because I think we should have walked away with 3 points in that game, and we just gave up a couple good opportunities for them. And ultimately what you take out of those weekends is a lot of learning. We learn, hey, you give good teams opportunities like that, they're going to bury just like we would. But ultimately, if that's the number 1 team in the country, we're right there. Nice.
Her and Maggie now hitting that career high mark and leading your team in goals. Then Ashley's got her 7, of course.
Yep.
What are you seeing out of Annie and maybe even Maggie, 2 fifth-year players that are having career years, making really the most of this 5th year?
Well, first of all, what you should know about Ani is she came back to school this year in fantastic shape. So she had, I feel like, 2 steps above almost everybody on the team with the way she worked over the summer, which we love as coaches. But I also like to reward that. And so you see her on the first line. I think she deserves it. She's earning it every single week. I would put her up there with our most consistent forwards to date. Just day in, day out, every weekend playing her game, and I think once you're a 5th year, you're comfortable in what your game is. And I think she's bringing it. She can score goals. She can make plays. She's tough, loves the D zone, block shots, whether it's practice or game. She's the ultimate bulldog, in my opinion. And Maggie brought her up too. She's having a lot of fun, and so nice to see her having so much success after missing, a good chunk of last season. So she's feeling very confident. She's a player that our team just absolutely adores and rallies around. And we want the puck on her stick whenever we get the chance. Yeah. Yep.
Eyes a little different here. She does a good job. Seems to get into the net, getting those great goals, great deflections.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Different. I mean, defensemen don't usually have the opportunity to clean up in front of the net. So yeah, Maggie's one of our best shooters, and you see that game in and game out, but she takes a lot of shots too. I think that helps, right? You have to attempt shots, and some of them are going to get blocked, and that's okay, but keep at it and make sure you get your head up at the right time. And she's having a lot of success with that. And Ani can do both. She has a great shot too, whether she's coming in on an entry and gets a nice play or she's mucking it up in front of the net, finding loose rebounds. I think she can do both.
And 2 weeks here before the very long holiday break.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from this team over the last 2 weeks?
I just want to continue to elevate, continue to play at a high level. I want everybody to be involved. I want everybody to bring their best. When we do that as a group where, I say it all the time, people come off the bench and it doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, 3, or 4, you're playing good Bulldog hockey. I think that's when our team really thrives. I hope not. I'd like to see us score a few more goals and hold them to less. How about that? Yep. Yeah.
Is that a product of these teams kind of a little bit like the matchups make a difference?
Could be. Yeah. Whether it's face-offs or last changes, things like that you have at home. I think that's a really good point, Bruce, that the home team has those subtle advantages that can make or break tight games.
Last year you relied so much.
Mm-hmm.
This year you're getting still offensive production from a Gabby, but it seems like the scoring is much more spread out this year, and you may be taking a step in relying on some of those second and third D pairings in more critical situations. Is that better as a coach, especially going into, as Bruce said, a matchup where maybe that top line can be shut down by a team that's close to Ohio State?
I love our depth. I think whether the first line produced as much as they did last year or not, I still had faith in our second and third lines and even fourth lines to be able to produce. I just think they have bigger opportunities this year. And you're seeing them be quite capable of that for all the years that they've been here and the work they put in. But, you look at, I'd say, national championship weekend, Rogie scores the big OT goal, and she was on, I think, our third line. And Taylor Anderson scored a massive goal as well. And I think she was on that same third line. So they do pop up over the years. However, this year, I think, like I said, they have more opportunity where it is more spread out. I think the story this year, honestly, is our defense and the way they're producing. If you look at line charts, look at how many points our defensive core has produced versus other D cores, and it's pretty amazing. So that's the fun part, that they can add it to the offense. And I think the forwards love that when we have dynamic and creative D and we can do more things offensively. Right.
The hockey you're playing, but to have a 4-game stretch and feel really confident, how important was that for this team to just see pucks in the back of the net and see wins on at the end of the day?
Yeah, huge. I mean, you can't take away from having success across the board, the amount of people that were finding the back of the net, the amount of people that were just, like I said, elevating their games, gaining confidence, gaining experience. It's kind of the way we started the season, right? With those 4 Eastern games, we did really well. We faced some tough opponents in the middle, but really liked the way we were played the last 4 games pretty much flawlessly. And now we're prepared. And I think our confidence is where it needs to be successful. Yep.
Those top teams that are above you right now. Is that what's important this weekend? Is it just continuing to build? Is it taking another step towards the national tournament? Are all of those equally important, or is there one that kind of sticks out to you for this team right now?
Well, me, I'm going to say I want us to continue to get better and better and have success in that and focus on our process, because that takes you to the next point and the next point that you made, right? If we focus on getting better and better and having everybody going and everybody ready and playing good Bulldog hockey, then you get the wins, then you put yourself in contention for that regular season title. You put yourself in contention for the national tournament. So we don't talk about those bigger things, but we understand the process leads to those things.
For you, the 7 goals, not even to December yet. For you, what do you feel is working? What's allowing you to put the puck in the net this year?
I feel like kind of like what Coach said about my physicality, I guess, coming into the season and just my like being in shape. I think that's helped a lot. I feel faster and I'm more confident in my preparation. So I think it's a big mental thing for me for sure.
Does it help being a fifth year player? Does that experience also? I mean, you look at Maggie, she's in her fifth year. Ashton's been in college now for 6 years and such. Does that experience also help an understanding of what it takes to score in this league?
Yeah, for sure. Experience is a huge thing. You know, like when you come in as a freshman, you don't really know what to expect, and there's a lot to adjust to with the speed of the game. But just being able to play at this speed for such a long amount of time and figuring out the game, you know, being able to get those things set in stone and just keep building off of that is huge.
You mentioned the physicality, and I think you'd be up there. You and Maggie, especially,
Yeah.
are two of the more physical
Oh, yeah.
players. How big of an advantage offensively is that in the WCHA compared to, like you mentioned, in high school, you can get away with the
Right.
finesse and everything like that. In the WCHA, how important is that physical nature for sure?
I think it's huge, especially in the WCHA, because, you know, Ohio State plays very physically and you got to be able to handle that. And it definitely helps to be able to pin people up against the walls and win those battles, but it's also important to be quicker on your feet and keep yourself moving and keep the puck moving. So just a combination of that stuff. I think for me, like I used to have trouble with getting pinned all the time. So I'm strong enough, but then adding that quickness is important too.
What do you see from Maggie?
It's
Allowing her to
she just exudes confidence, and I think that's something our whole team can embrace, and I look up to that a lot. And I just love that when she looks at the net and she has the puck on her stick, she knows it's going in and you can tell. And so that's a big thing I think we can take from her, is that confidence.
You've seen something different from her this year where you mentioned the confidence, where she's maybe not looking to just put that puck on net and hope like you're there to deflect it in, but she's actually targeting.
Yeah, she's shooting to score, and it's obvious and it's awesome. And like Coach said too, she's taking a lot of shots. So that's another big part of it too, is just, you know, not being afraid, not getting discouraged if those shots are getting blocked or they're not getting through. Like just keep attempting those shots and they're going to find the back of it.
Traits from the last time we saw the puck out, it's felt too good well, like carry over this time around, get invested in this time.
Yeah, I think just mentioning the physicality piece, because they're a very tough team to play. And we love that, and that elevates our game for sure too. And then just playing with speed. We have fast players from the D on up to the forward. So playing as a 5-man unit and continuing to play quickly is huge for us.
You guys use this break to your advantage coming off the shutout to the high scoring games, and you get, you know, is it nice to have that rest and then come back into Ohio State?
Yeah, I think it was good to have the rest physically and mentally, and we use the time to just focus on being intentional with different skills and different things that we need to work on to make ourselves better to compete against them.
Physical style, how confident are you feeling? Because the pucks have been going in. They don't always go in for you.
Right. Right. Yeah, I feel confident. And I think, like I said before, the physicality definitely helps, but then adding that quickness in, and I think just the line I'm playing on too, obviously, is a huge factor. Like Gabs sees the ice so well, and she, you know, if you're on the ice with her, you're probably going to end up with the puck on your stick in a good scoring opportunity. So that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we have a really good connection, and we're good at communicating, and we bring Bergie into that too, making sure we have good communication. And Bergie is a very loud person on the ice, which is so awesome, because you just know she wants the puck and she'll have confidence when she gets it.
Is there a difference in a team, just energy wise, attitude wise, from 3 or 4 weeks ago when you were going through a stretch where you said, you know, you watch that you're playing good hockey but not getting the results? Now you back 4 wins in a row. Is there kind of an added energy back into the group now?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it was tough because we're playing top teams and we're playing such good hockey. We were really confident still, but like you said, we weren't getting the reward for it. So it feels really good to be rewarded. And yeah, exactly that. I think we have a good added energy, especially with the bye weekend, getting good rest and physically and mentally, we're excited for this weekend. for sure.